Private First Class Steve Merrill wears a Vietnamese straw hat during a patrol with Tiger Force members of the 101st Airborne about 5 miles south of here recently. Private First Class Merrill is a New York State resident. Column of Soldiers Under Fire, 1960s, Vietnam War. (1966), Mekong Delta, South Vietnam. Soldiers in canoes and hovercraft guided by choppers overhead inspect huts along the slimy muddy waters of the delta. Another stop, the men check carefully for evidence of the Viet Cong. Carefully keeping their weapons dry, troopers of the U.S. 1st Infantry wade through swampy area north of Phoc Vinh during a recent operation. Such travel has been common lot for soldiers operating in lowland Vietnam during the monsoon season, which is now drawing to close. Bien Hoa, South Vietnam. A gunner of the U.S. 173rd Airborne Division sights along his 90mm self-propelled artillery piece as Australian and American forces move into position, during the final stages of a joint troop operation against the Viet Cong in War Zone D. The troops were reported withdrawing June 30th with only a few Viet Cong apprehended during the 3-day Allied exercise. June 30th, 1965. Vietnam War, December 1966, South Vietnam. American troops on patrol pass a Montagnard tribesman and his elephant, as they go about a search and destroy mission. NVA officers lead an advance on South Vietnamese Army positions, Vietnam War. Doc 2, South Vietnam. A member of the 173rd Airborne Brigade crouches beside the body of a dead comrade and equipment left by wounded at the height of the battle on Hill 875. U.S. Army paratroopers of the 173rd Airborne Brigade began a final assault up the bloody slopes of Hill 875. Picture shows a female Viet Cong soldier in action with an anti-tank gun during a fighting in southern Q Long Delta, in the frame of the Tet General Offensive launched in all the South Vietnam in spring 1968. This week sees the 30th anniversary of the offensive, a surprise attack on nearly 100 targets in South Vietnam that marked a turning point in the Vietnam War. South Vietnamese Army soldiers patrol the besieged town of Xuan Loc prior to its fall to the advancing North Vietnamese forces in the closing days of the Vietnam War, circa April 1975. The Vietnam War was fought between the 1st of November 1955 until the fall of Saigon on the 30th of April 1975. After setting fire to suspected Viet Cong houses in Tay Ninh, U.S. soldiers from the 1st Infantry Division cautiously explore the village. Hueys fill the air as they head into combat against the Viet Cong, Trang Bang, Vietnam, circa 1967. 1965, Play Me, South Vietnam. A Vietnamese soldier dashes for cover while his comrades keep down in their positions on the outer defense perimeter of the Special Forces camp. The camp has been under heavy Viet Cong attack since early in the week. U.S. troops give water to a wounded Viet Cong soldier. This shows that even in war there is still goodness. 1970, Tay Ninh, South Vietnam. Men of the U.S. 1st Cavalry Division in a jungle area 10 miles from the Cambodian border during a 6-hour fight recently. As clashes along the border increase, U.S. President Richard Nixon has given his approval for U.S. troops to cross over into Cambodia. A typhoon-driven storm surge from the Cam Lo River flooded the U.S. Marine Combined Action Compound, Papa 3, in the village of Cam Hu, Quang Tri Province, Vietnam on September 1967.